So what I thought I would do tonight is I thought maybe it was time for us to compare those 4K images. And so tonight what I'm going to do is I've set up the Seestar and I've turned it on. I have it in EQ mode. You can tell by the little icon in the top left. And then I want to do some imaging. And so I want to do an image and do it in regular mode and then stop it and start it over again using the 4K mode. I want to do it on several objects tonight and just so that we can get a comparison. I'm hoping to get maybe an hour on each one. One thing that I don't like about the 4K mode thing is that it doesn't automatically turn it on. So when I go in here and I'm going to select an object, let's see, let's do this Crescent Nebula because that one pops up fairly quickly. And so when I turn it on and it's navigating to that object and it finds it, there's not really a way to turn on that 4K without stopping it. And so I'm going to stop it right here, click the three dots up in the top right-hand corner and turn on that 4K, go back to the image and restart it. And so that's what you have to do. Now, when I go to the next object, I'm not right sure if I'm going to do a couple objects and do them out of order a little bit because I don't want to be up all night. So in order to do the ones without being in 4K, I would probably need to set up a plan and do those to try and make no, the amount of time and exposures to match. So I'll probably have to do that as a plan. And that's another thing. You can't use the 4K mode in the plan mode. And so I do notice a difference right here just because I've done this object before that I saved 3. I just have it on 10-second exposures. I've saved 3, but you see there's an awful lot of red in there, and that's not typical for this object. I mean, it has a little bit of red, but not as much as it's showing right here. And if I zoom in, you can really see that it's red. I have noticed too, let's see, it's got 5 saved. I'm going to go back to the main page. We'll just leave it running. I have noticed that in the subs folder, well, I don't have enough subs to show it, but maybe I can show it in one I did the other night. Ever since the update, it has a lot of these red images. And I've seen people talking about that online, and I don't know that I have an example of it here. I guess I don't. So maybe I'll get some of those tonight and show you what that looks like. But in order to do this experiment, I'm going to have to save it as separate imaging sessions. And so look how red that is. I mean, I didn't think 4K would increase the red tones in it, but it sure does on this image. And I have heard that the 4K is only for the viewing while you're imaging. I want to compare what we get saved in the subs folders and things versus what we're seeing live and see if we can see a difference. I want to download those files to the computer and see if they have a different file size on them when they download to the computer. So that's what I want to do tonight. And I'll probably try 2 or 3 objects, try and image them for about an hour so that'll give us a good amount of time to compare the differences and see if we can see any difference. It definitely looks different in the live image right now, but will it look different in the saved image? I'm not sure. So that's what we're going to do tonight, and I'll image 2 or 3 objects, try and set up a plan and do it the same 2 or 3 objects and turn off the 4K and see if we can see a difference. So I'll bring you back when I've got those saved. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get them all tonight. It may take me a couple nights, but to you, it'll be a click of a pause on your YouTube. So I'll come back and show you what we get. Just a quick bringing you back. We're only about 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes in, and the red color is very bright on the object itself, but the red in the background is starting to dim just a little bit. I haven't done any enhancing or anything in the Seestar app, but the nebula itself is quite a bit more red than normal, but it is kind of muting out a little bit in the background and the stars. So maybe that's just adding more time on it that it is evening that out a little bit more. We'll have to watch it and see. I brought you back because I wanted to show you this interesting thing that happened. So I'm gonna load the picture, and there you see all those lines. Must have been the Starlink or something that went by, but I thought it was kind of cool actually. It's not gonna be a problem. We can go into the subs and delete that image and then stack it, so it shouldn't be a problem, but I thought it was really pretty cool. So that's what it looked like, and I'm guessing that was the Starlink that went by, but I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it would be interesting to show. So I think what I'll do is I'll, image a little bit longer, and then I'll stop it, then I'll go in and exclude this, image from the list and deep sky stack it so that we can get the final image that we're going to do for this 4K imaging. But I thought that was kind of cool. So I finished the imaging. I only did 22 minutes on these. This picture is the 22 minutes of the 4K. I did decide not to do the stacking and get rid of that Starlink trail in the middle just because that really wasn't the purpose of this experiment, and I wanted it to be as consistent as possible. And the deep sky stack, I couldn't guarantee getting the same number of exposures and things. So I decided to just keep that line in there, and we'll just have to put up with it. And next, I will put up the image of imaging the 22 minutes in the normal version without the 4K turned on so that we can see what that image looked like on the screen. And then I will blow them both up a little bit bigger so you can see them. So here they are blown up side by side. I really just don't see that much of a difference. The For both images, the light pollution filter was on, and so it was filtering the hydrogen alpha particles and the oxygen particles, which makes the nebulas more red. It brings out the red. But they both really look fairly similar. So I don't know that it's really worth the effort to turn it on and turn it off if you're not going to see a big difference. These were just the view from the Seestar app, and I just really just don't see that big of a difference. Of course, it is short exposure time. We'll do another one and compare that and see how that one goes. So here's the next one. I did NGC 6946. The first image is the 4K image. It's 25 minutes of exposure time. And this time, instead of just downloading it from the Seestar app, I did a screenshot because I've heard that the 4K is really for when we're viewing it, not changing the files. And so I wanted to see if there was a difference. And so this picture is the 4K version. And now I'll put up the um, regular version without the 4K, the same 25 minutes of exposure. I don't really see a big difference in the two. So far, I haven't seen a difference whether I'm saving it from the Seestar app or whether it's the screenshot of the same integration time. And so I'm not seeing a big advantage to using the 4K so far. So here is 15 minutes of M27. The top image is a screenshot. The bottom one is what generated in the app as a JPEG, and I just exported it. So we could see the difference between the visual in-app live view versus what is saved. So this is 15 minutes. These are the 4K versions, and then we will add in the same 2 shots, but of the non-4K. Here's the regular view, a screenshot, same amount of minutes. This is without the 4K button turned on. And the bottom picture on the right is the straight off of the Seestar saved in the app. I don't really see a big difference. Maybe a little bit in this image versus the other ones, just in the color of the nebulosity of this. It's just not significant. So far, I haven't seen anything that's so impressive that it's worth the extra effort to turn on that 4K for me. What are some of your thoughts? Next, I'm going to look at the files and see if they're different sizes. We'll see what we see there. So I plugged the Seestar into my computer, went to the My Works folder and looked at the files that were on there. I located all the FIP files in the subs folder, and every one of the FIP files was the same size. So it didn't make any difference whether I was doing it in 4K or regular viewing mode. And so I just didn't see any difference. So my summary is I just don't know that that 4K is that big a deal. Maybe it will be down the road when they do some additional enhancing. Maybe with the S30 Pro, there will be some advantages, but so far I just haven't seen any advantage. Let me know your thoughts about the 4K and if it's worth the extra trouble to turn it on. And like always, we're wishing everybody clear skies, and thanks for watching.